What's up, everybody? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and today I have a very interesting Twosun for you guys. Before I get into that, thank you so much for being here, for watching the video. Hit that like button for me. If you're new, consider subscribing. And if you guys want to support the channel, you can now support me on Patreon. And yeah, there'll be a link for that below. And this knife will be linked below. I believe this one's the best place you can get it right now is White Mountain Knives. This is a knife that will be, as far as I know, will be in the knife sale video. It's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. Like all these satin finishes, man, they are fingerprint magnets. This is the Twosun TS305. This is a large knife, but man, it's super lightweight. Haven't disassembled this one, but I think I may do a disassembly video on it just because I want to know what's going on inside it. It's a big knife and it weighs very little for its size. It feels like it doesn't weigh enough. This is a Mazwan Mokhtar design, and this is the first knife I've seen this done. Let me show you this real quick by Twosun. They always do all this billboarding on the blades, right? No billboarding. No billboarding. Only thing on the blade is the steel, which is 14C28N on this one. Inside here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to show up on camera without whiting out the camera. Oh, let me grab a different flashlight. It doesn't go, or let me change the mode here. Turn this way down. Maybe I can get this to work better. Alright. So, it's going to be so hard to get this to work. Inside the scale, you may just have to trust me. Well, there, maybe you can see it. The Twosun logo and the Mazwan Mokhtar maker's mark. They put it inside the scale, which is super cool. It appears that the Twosun's starting to listen to, now I don't know what year this came out. It is 305, but with Twosun, something you got to understand is they have a whole bunch of numbers, but they just because they're on, like, say, TS354 doesn't mean they've made 353 knives before that. They will leave numbers open and skip over a lot of numbers, and then like they'll release a new knife like a TS194, I think is one I just recently saw that dropped, and you know, it's a brand new design, but it's TS194. This one's TS305. This one's been out for a while now, though I'm not sure how long. So yeah, very cool that they're doing that on the inside. I hope they continue to do that. This knife is a little different than any other Twosun I've ever felt. This one is more like a sandwich construction, and it's just two scales milled to where it forms a backspacer, but there really is no backspacer. It's just the two scales, and look at the way they did this too. It's another reason I want to take this one apart. So it comes all the way down here. This is all one piece of titanium, and this side is all one piece of titanium, and then they've milled out in here to create a little lanyard spot. You get a lanyard in there. It's super cool the way they did this. This one does have carbon fiber overlays on it, and I'm thinking those are thicker than what we're seeing here just because of how lightweight this is. I think this titanium is pretty thin underneath there. It looks pretty thin here where they've done the cutout for the Lockbar. And that's something that's super impressive on this knife too. This is one of the smoothest lock bars I think I've ever felt. It is so easy to engage that lock or disengage that lock bar, but lockup is fantastic on it. Does have a steel lock bar insert, and we're at about 50% lockup there, as you can see. But man, this lock bar is it may be because of the length of this knife. You get more leverage because of how long it is. And let's give you some specs on it real quick. Then I'll give you some comparisons that'll show you exactly how long this thing is. Overall length is 8.78 inches. Closed length is 4.80 inches. The blade length is 3.74 inches. This one's 14C28N, but it's currently available on M390, which is the one that will be linked below. Blade thickness is 142 thousandths. Titanium frame lock. Claimed weight's 4.97 ounces. We're going to test that real quick, because I don't think it's that heavy. I really don't. I don't think it weighs that much. Maybe the M390 version is heavier than the 14C28N, but it doesn't feel like it's nearly 5 ounces. Well, okay, I was wrong. I guess the size to weight ratio just feels a little off to me. It feels lightweight for how big it is. And let me show you how big this knife is. Let's pull out, we'll pull out the Penguin first. Lots of people have one variation or another of the Penguin. It would swallow a penguin. It would swallow a penguin whole. Kind of like a great white shark. And here's a bug out. Swallow the bug out too. So long. Very large knife. And next we will pull out the AD 20.5. Quite a bit longer than that. Honestly, I don't think I have anything even remotely close to this in size. But here's the Yojimbo 2. Actually, I do have something here. Something else in on loan from Craig. And this is Craig's knife also. Is the AD, something, the closest thing I might have to it in length is another one of his knives that I have a hard time deploying. It's the AD 15, Cold Steel AD 15. Those two are very, very similar in size. Although this one feels like it weighs a bit more than the TS305 does. But those two are very similar in size. It's even a little longer than the Cold Steel, honestly. It's probably got almost, I'd say, 1/4 inch of length on the Cold Steel. So, yeah, very, very large, very long knife. Fantastic ergonomics. Fantastic. And it's kind of thick. Does it give the handle thickness in the specs? No, it does not give the handle thickness. Let's see if we can get an estimate on what that is. At the top of the spine here, it is a 1/2 inch, but I think it's a little thicker down here. So I'm gonna say it's probably about 5/8 of an inch thickness at the thickest point. All T8 hardware on this knife. Very simple. From what I can tell without disassembling, it looks very simple. Unless there's some other screws under these overlays. It's literally just 4 screws. Actually 3 screws. Your pivot screw, pocket clip screw, and 1 screw on this side, and then your pivot. It does have a captive pivot, and does have a, like I said, steel Lockbar insert, so there's a screw in there for that. But yeah, overall, very, very simple construction. Front flipper works great, although with big knife, you got to really, I have to with my medium-sized hands, I got to really grip up high to get to it, which leaves, when I'm deploying the front flipper, I'm way up here, and pretty much the entire pocket clip is out of my hand at that point. But works great. Does have a thumb hole, and you can also spidey flick it. I missed it that time. It's another one of those things, with it being such a long knife, you want to hold it down here when you're holding the knife, but the deployment hole is up high, you know what I mean? Like this is where I would normally hold a knife, and normally the deployment hole would be somewhere around there, but with this one I got to move up to get up there, and just because it's such a large knife. Now if you got a extra large size hand, you'd probably love this knife. For someone medium sized hands, it's a bit much for me. Has a very small sharpening choil here, although it does completely clear the plunge. So pretty much you got a few sharpenings before you have to worry about getting any kind of a smile or anything. Not even sure what you would call this blade shape. Clip point, drop point, I don't know. Back here you got where your thumb hole's at, you got a good place to rest your thumb. You do have a spot up here, but you can't really get up there because you don't have a finger choil. And if you come up here, I'm not sure what this is all about. Unless you have maybe if you've got an extra large hand, you can really get up there and reach that. Medium-sized hand, I have to get way up on that blade to get my thumb there. And so not really a place I would use it, but it does feel good in hand right here for me. Very good in hand. Yeah, this version here, Craig has had it for a while. This one's 14C28N, but currently you can get these on White Mountain Knives with M390 for $120 if they're still in stock. At the time of making this video, I'm pretty sure they are in stock. I'll link it below, but depending on when you watch this video, they may be out of stock. So you can also find them on Amazon, but on Amazon they're charging quite a bit more for them. On Amazon, I think they're charging like $205 for the exact same knife White Mountain Knives has for $120, which is a bit odd. Plus, the ones on Amazon, you're going to have to wait a month or so to get the knife, and White Mountain Knives, you have it in a few days with free shipping and no tax, I might add, which we all love and appreciate. Can I do a knuckle roll on this thing? Yes, I can do the knuckle roll. Although that jimping's a little rough on my knuckle roll, but on the thumb it's great. It's actually really good jimping. You guys watch my videos, you know I really like Miguron's jimping on their front flippers. This is very similar to their. This is not Twosun's normal jimping. This is a little bit more aggressive, where it's super grippy. It doesn't hurt the thumb at all, but depending on where you catch it on the knuckle roll, I can definitely feel it there. It's not the most comfortable on the knuckle roll. So yeah, great construction from what I can tell. It looks like it's very well made. This is another one that, you know, not really my cup of tea, but I can really appreciate what went into designing this. And I think I am going to do a disassembly on this one, because I want to see what's going on underneath these overlays, or are they inlays? I can't tell, because they do stand, you know, the carbon fiber is up above the titanium pretty decent a bit there, as you can see. But I want to know, yeah, how much milled out is the titanium underneath the carbon fiber? I think it's going to be milled out quite a bit, because if it wasn't, this knife would be much heavier as long as it is. So there's got to be a lot of milling in there. Oh, pocket clip. Let me just verify again. I'm wearing a different pair of pants at the moment than I had on earlier. Yeah, it's got that ball clip on it, which I'm not the biggest fan of. This one isn't terrible. Goes in the pocket good. Can catch coming out of the pocket a little bit. It's not like a ceramic ball pocket clip. It's just a milled ball in the milled titanium pocket clip. So it works well, but it can catch, especially on jeans. Like I'm wearing more like polyester hiking pants at the moment. It's not as bad on those, but I checked it on a pair of jeans, and it definitely will catch your pocket on the way out. It goes in the pocket better than it comes out of the pocket. Let's put it that way. But yeah, very interesting knife. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Leave a comment below if you have this knife, what you think of it. And yeah, very, very interesting design. Very large knife. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one.